but it doesn't have the same negative effects like gyno hair. It doesn't affect your hormones, but it somehow is promoting protein synthesis into the muscle cells. Now tell me how that works, right? Tell me how that works. I don't understand how that's possible. Welcome back, everybody, to the channel. It is Monday, and as I stated in the last video, I said I would be doing the science explained breakdown of the 7-3 andro and the 3 epi andro, okay? And so we're just gonna jump right into it. I'm gonna list the compounds. This light in front of me is bright, so it's hard to see, but I'm gonna list the compounds that I read about, okay? We have 7-hydroxy epiandrosterone, however you want to say it, and then just epiandrosterone, and 5-hydroxy laxogenin, and that is for the 3 epiandro. And I'll put those on the video somewhere so you can read them. And then we have 3-hydroxy androstane 17-1, then 7-hydroxy epiandrosterone. It's hard to read, I swear. And then 6-keto-diosgenin. Okay, so there's actually the same thing in both of these, and that is just the 7-hydroxy epiandrosterone. There's 25 milligrams in this one and in this one, okay? And then the other 4 are separate. The laxogenin, the diosgenin, or whatever. And so those are the compounds wherever they are on the video. And we're gonna be jumping into a few studies. I checked out some studies. I read some forums. I did read some blogs, but one blog was selling a product to compete with this. And so what they had to say was very negative. And then the other blog wasn't selling anything, and they had a few good things to say. So really, if you're looking up stuff, it really depends where you're looking. So you got to look all over the internet, especially at studies. But you can't even read just the abstract of a study, because they sometimes have an agenda too. So you just got to go look through the results, interpret them for yourself, come to your own conclusions. Sometimes that is the best option. But anyways, we're going to jump over to the computer. I have some of the studies up already. Hopefully my camera up there works. If not, you might not see me in the corner. I might just be voiceovering, but either way, we're gonna go over to the computer. Oh my God. I damn near broke my mic. All right, we're good. So we're back. It is an entire 24 hours later, and 9 attempts at recording this part of the video, guys. I was stressed out trying to figure all this stuff out. The last 8 attempts went a few ways. The first one made no sense. The second one, third, and fourth also made no sense. The 5th, 6th, and 7th started to make sense, but didn't completely, and they were long. And then I just did one before this. Turned out to be 45 minutes long, and I don't think I can. There's just so much I want to talk about. I don't think I'm going to be able to cut it. I won't be able to cut the video down. Like when I'm making the decision to cut things out, I won't be able to do it. So we are gonna hammer this out as quickly as possible, making the most amount of sense. And then all the stuff that I'm not gonna talk about, if you have questions, I know all kinds of weird stuff about this stack right now, okay? Just comment below, guys. Comment below if you have certain questions that I'm just scanning over, and we'll get it straightened out. But for sake of time, I'm going to attempt a 15-minute science explained on the steel stack that I'm running right now. Disclaimer, we have blogs, we have articles, we have studies, okay? We're jumping right into the list of ingredients. I listed them at the beginning of the video, but we're gonna be doing it again. Everything's working, okay. We have, this is all 6 between the 2 bottles, not including the 1 andro, because we have a video on that, okay? Just all 6. 3-hydroxy androstane 17-1, 7-hydroxy epiandrosterone, 6-keto-diosgenin. This is all listed at the beginning, so I'm just running back through it. 7-hydroxy, the same thing above, that was listed above. Epiandrosterone again, and then 5-alpha-hydroxy laxogenin, okay? Now, we're gonna just whittle this down right away. The 6-keto-diosgenin is a plant steroid. The 5-alpha-hydroxy laxogenin is a plant steroid. One is a brasinogen or brasinosteroid. and the other one is a 6 keto something derivative, okay? But they're both from plants. Now looking at the 4 other compounds, we have the 3-hydroxy, the 7-hydroxy, and then the other 7-hydroxy, and then just plain epi-andosterone. Those are like all the same thing, marginally different. You have the number of hydroxy groups. I don't know, I just learned chemistry in like the past 12 hours, the best I could. But those are just giving you the number of attached hydroxy groups to the parent compound. I hope that's right. I'm pretty sure. That being said, we're gonna whittle all that down to just epi-andosterone, and then we're gonna touch specifically a little bit on the 3-hydroxy andostane 17-1. But they're all very similar, excluding the 2 plant compounds. So, number 1 article we have. This is just by M+B. Something. I don't know what this website is. It's a blog, right? This is just gonna give you an idea of what is going on when you take epi-andosterone, okay? Also known as epi-andro, which is what is on the bottle, okay? It is initially, as soon as you take it in, it is converted by the liver into DHT, right down here. And that is, well, if you want to know the name, dihydrotestosterone, okay? It says that it's much more anabolic and androgenic than testosterone. Also, that's, green light right out of the gate. Ooh, cool, better than test. Skipping around, it says there's shreds of weak evidence on GABA. We're not even going to look at that. We don't like weak evidence, okay? Next part, we have some nitric oxide info, as well as a little bit of insulin-like growth factor, promoting the synthesis of that. Very interesting. We're not going to touch on that a whole lot because, again, not a lot of information on that. A little bit on the nitric oxide. Plus, everyone knows what that is, okay? Scroll, nitric oxide. So it is, as it says right here, as stated above, epi-andro, we'll just call it that for now, increases the release of nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a vasodilator, okay? So like if you are semi-veiny and you take nitric oxide, your veins might become more prominent as your vessels expand. More blood goes through those vessels. The blood goes to the muscles. More blood in the muscles. It's a good thing, right? You got veins everywhere. It's a good thing. And then underneath it does mention a little bit of increased sperm count. Very interesting. And obviously increase in libido. You mix nitric oxide with a increased libido, you're gonna have a good time, okay? This is all just a blog though, so we're just gonna run through kind of what this guy is talking about. He mentions 250 to 500 milligrams a day, right? So we're gonna compare that to what we have in our stack. But for the most part, that's all we want to take from this blog, because this blog, whatever this webpage is trying to sell you on epi-andosterone. So of course they're gonna favor it. You can see all this stuff. They're either an affiliate marketer sending you somewhere to get a commission, or I haven't clicked on this, or maybe they're selling it themselves. But of course, yeah, where to buy. Of course, they're going to try to talk it up if they're going to get a commission. So we're going to move on to the other side of the spectrum, where this person is trying to sell you things like D-Bol and Tren, apparently. So he's going to tell you that this isn't good and that you want to go get the other stuff. So we're on both sides here. I like to do this. I like to check blog where they're for it and against it, because you can kind of put everything together. Whew. That being said, epi-andosterone. And this is where I got confused earlier, okay? We have the 3-hydroxy 5-andostane 17-1, also known as epi-andosterone. So all those different labels on the bottle basically mean the same thing, just different chemical structures, which obviously makes a big difference, but beyond me for the most part. We're just going to get to the meat and potatoes, which is the DHT. That is the most important thing right here. DHT is what this compound turns into after it's converted in your body. So if you want to do any research for yourself and save yourself hours of research, unlike me, just research DHT and its effects and what elevated DHT does. We'll go over that. But suggested to provide far greater androgenic and anabolic response when compared to testosterone. So that is the same as the last blog, right? Good to know. This again, 200 to 500 a day. So let's look at the bottle quick. I already tallied it up. but just for safety reasons, making sure I'm not lying to you, we're gonna check again. We have in bottle number 1, the 3 epi, okay? God, it's hard to see with this bright light on. We have 25 of the epiandro, the 7-hydroxy. We have 100 of just the epiandro. So that is gonna be 125. And the exact same in this second bottle. So in one dose, you have 250. And you're taking that twice a day, okay? So you're at the peak of 500, according to what is ideal on these articles and what some of these guys have said. I don't know what this dude, it doesn't even say the author of this. The last guy had a bachelor's and he is a physical therapist, which is good. He knows something, right? But if Steel is right on their numbers, you are hitting the max. Do not exceed 500 milligrams per day. Just so you know, this is the max amount of what you'd want. And this isn't a stack that Steel provides. You have to go pick this stuff out yourself. So there we are. We're maxed out on the top end of things. Quite interesting. And then it jumps into some side effects. So having DHT in a surplus in the body has been shown to cause male pattern baldness to increase, right, or to accelerate and cause balding in general. This happens, I believe I read it in this article, because the DHT in the bloodstream will bind to your hair follicles. Seemed a little unrealistic, but that's what I read. Either way, it has been shown to cause balding and prostate issues, and also liver and cardiovascular issues. But literally anything you take in the world has all kinds of side effects. Now, it depends on the person on how those things affect you. So for time's sake, we're moving on to some studies real quick, because this is probably the most important thing right here. This is where it's going to be real important. I technically have 6 minutes, but it's not going to happen. So this is going to be a 20-minute video. Running through the studies. This study had a group of men work out for 1 month, taking a placebo pill, and one taking this 3-hydroxy-5 androstenedione 17-1, right? They both did the same regimen for a month. And I believe it was 300 milligrams that the pro-hormone group was taking a day. So that's less than what we have, okay? And the results are quite interesting. Let's just get to that figure. I'll pull it up, make it big, make it nice. If you're interested in some of this p-value stuff and some of the numbers of their specific mass and whatnot, you can check that out. These links to these articles and studies will be in the description below. But let's take a look at this figure, which is quite intense if you look at it. We have the placebo on the left, the pro-hormone on the right. Top is just body mass. Then it goes lean mass, and at the bottom we have fat mass, okay? So lean mass is going to be the muscles, the fat mass is going to be the fat, and then body mass is just in general. So we're only looking at lean mass and fat mass because that makes up body mass, right? Placebo group started at 70, okay? And post-test barely made any gains in the lean mass. My cat's trying to break in and ruin the video because he meows super loud. Yorm! Silence! Anywho, moving on to the bottom. So placebo didn't make very much lean mass gains. That's not what you want to see. Fat mass, there was a drop, but here we go. They probably worked out for a month thinking they were on drugs and probably worked their ass off. They're gonna lose some fat. They're gonna build a little bit of muscle, okay? And then we have the pro-hormone side. Baseline, we're going around, let's say a 73.5, right? Post-test, after 1 month, 300 milligrams a day, these guys jumped up what looks to be 30% of their total lean mass, which is insane. I don't know if I'm reading this right. Let's not say 30%, but just look at the difference, okay? Look at the big gains going on there. And then we check out the fat mass, and boom. These guys are burning fat, and they're building lean mass. Now, that's not easy to do, just working out as Natty, okay? Not super easy to do, especially in a month period. Now, this I want to say, I know this video is going to be longer because of it, but I want to mention something. just looking at, right, really focus here, body mass. If we're just looking at the placebo group, or sorry, not body mass, but the lean mass. If we're just looking at the placebo group, their baseline lean muscle mass or lean mass is significantly lower than the group that started pro hormones. And their fat mass is significantly higher than the pro hormone group. So I don't know why they decided to do this. I see that their body mass is pretty similar. It's almost exactly around the same starting spot. But you're having a group of guys that are more jacked and lean against a group of guys that are softer with less muscle. I don't know why they would have done that. And that might, I don't know if maybe that affects the results. Obviously it would. I don't like that they didn't control that part of the test. But then you could also argue, right? You could also argue that these guys that are less in shape and have more fat mass should have made more gains, yet the opposite happened. So you interpret that how you want. They do run through some HDL, LDL issues up here somewhere. Right away, they're talking about HDL, LDL, some liver issues and cardiovascular problems with blood work. But it's not like these guys were having heart attacks. Like, some of their blood work was coming back a little whack. LDL, HDL started to get a little funky. Fun fact, if you didn't know, or if you haven't watched my other videos, cholesterol is not a bad thing. If you have been told by anybody, unless it's your doctor, I'm not a doctor, but cholesterol is not the bad guy that it's made out to be. You probably know this by now. It's all over the internet. If you don't know this, hopefully I'm teaching you. The importance of cholesterol is more in the variation between LDL and HDL, and technically they're going to tell you that high density is worse, I believe. Okay, so I got this backwards in this video. I was losing my mind in the process of making this. So to clarify, HDL is high density, and that is going to be referred to as the good one because it can remove LDL by bringing it to the liver, I believe, and LDL is a bad one. So I got it mixed up in this small little rant of mine. But just to clarify, HDL good, LDL bad. As far as like what you would read, you kind of got to dive deeper into the information to understand cholesterol. But bare bones, that's how it works. Yes, high density is worse. It's usually larger, I believe, too. And LDL is the good one. You want them both to be decently within similar ranges, and you want good cholesterol levels. Cholesterol is responsible for testosterone production. Literally gains, man. And it's also just a major transporting molecule in the body. So don't let people give you statin drugs and make your cholesterol plummet so you feel like garbage all the time. Don't do that. Do some reading first, okay? Don't listen to me either. Just go read for yourself. But it does say, so we have some side effects. There was acne, okay? Muscle cramping, headaches, dehydration, and mood swings. That was the most reported side effect after this month of andosterone, basically. 100% of the people on the pro hormone reported desirable effects: muscle, mood, libido, fat loss, all these things. 75% of the placebo group reported that they were happy and had desirable effects. But, they were probably working out for a month after being slightly fat and not having very much muscle, and they probably felt amazing after a month. Of course they're going to feel great, right? So there's that. Now we're gonna go, that's the main stuff on the epi-andosterone. Excluding, I have a tab which is behind my camera, since I had to put my camera in front of my computer. But this is interesting. I wanna mention this, and I don't know how I'm gonna, maybe I'll put this at the beginning of the video because it's really important, but what is 5-alpha hydroxylaxogenin, okay? Which is what is in this bottle, I believe. Let me make sure I can confirm. 5-alpha hydroxylaxogenin, yes. This article, and now USADA.org, not sure. This was published in 2019. But to sum things up, I'll put all these in the description because I know I'm not gonna have enough time to get through this. But these guys are talking about any and most and a lot of supplements. are listing this ingredient 5-alpha hydroxylaxagenin they're lying. Like, according to the US ADA's radar for some time, because it's frequently listed on labels of products that also happen to be contaminated or spiked with PEDs, okay? Now, I'm pretty sure steel is a significant distributor of all these pro hormones and stuff. I don't think that they could get away with this. But just be aware, if you're watching this video for the ingredients and not steel, be careful. Apparently, in 2019, a lot of these products that list this ingredient, which is that steroid, the plant steroid, they are oftentimes spiked or contaminated with real PEDs. High risk shit going on, okay? And then above it does state that this is false advertising that this supplement does anything. Again, we're on a random ass website, but there are no reports that 5-alpha hydroxylaxagenin derivative being detected in or isolated from any natural source. So what they're saying is that, according to them, you cannot find this stuff isolated from its natural source. So it's going to be synthetic, I'd assume, right? That's what they're trying to say. I don't know if it's true. Either way, be careful where you get your shit from, my guys. Because if you're taking something that's just says, 5-alpha, and it's just like max strength, ultimate test, be careful, man. You could be getting yourself into a whirl if you're taking some real shit that's unlabeled. And I mean, they have a few links here that do list high risk stuff. But I gotta let my fucking cat out. Kitty, you can't be interrupting. Go. If you want to go outside. God damn. Anywho, back to the video, back to the next thing. Well, the last thing we're going to talk about real quick. I think I cut this in half. I think I'm down from 40 minutes to going to be around 20. We have the 6 keto. Where are we at? 6 keto. God, I can't see with this fucking light on, man. 6 keto diosgenin. Okay, and this is what I could find here. Keto derivative, 6 keto derivative. This doesn't give you much. This is just something I found at the last second here. It's just saying that this compound produces an accelerated gain of weight in rats. We're not rats, but that is how we have to go about this with a lot of these compounds. Increase in the weight in liver, heart, kidneys, and musculus tibialis anterior. Fibia, so that's in the leg. Augment to the total amount of protein therein. So it's basically just saying that the study shows that in young animals, there's a significant increase in protein and development of organs and some muscle tissue. Good to know that there's some information on it. That's about all I could find on the 6 keto. But again, it is a plant steroid, which we have another right here. No, right here. This is just a little blog. Now we're covering the laxagenin, okay? And I should have little words up in the corner about whatever I'm talking about, because I know I'm flying and confusing. Plant-based steroid, we know this. Blah, blah, blah. This guy lists a study in his article. Thank you, sir. Let's give him a shout out. Who is this? Dr. Diana Rangovis. Diana, it's a woman, I believe. But thank you for putting real science into your article. It's good stuff. But this is just going to tell you a lot about steroids, okay? Which is the classification of the laxagenin, okay? I didn't really read through this a whole lot. What I did gather, though, is it's quite similar to turkesterone and other ectosteroids, which are plant hormone, or sorry, they're made in plants and eaten by insects, I believe. I think that's right. Where it's trying to tell you that if you take this, you will get increased protein synthesis while not having the normal side effects of an androgenic compound. It literally says, can I get to the conclusion, please? One moment. Anyways, it should be here somewhere. Right here. Finally, this is the study I'm talking about. Going down to the bottom, you can look through all this stuff. There's actually pretty interesting if you look at the results. There's so much information in these studies. It will fry your brain if you're not careful. If you do this too late at night, you might not make it, if I'm going to be honest. Let's get to the bottom. Let's get to the bottom, all the way to the conclusion. And this is what I like to see too. This is in a beautiful list of cited work where you can move off of. But it's saying, so in summary, it's trying to tell you that it's stimulating protein synthesis and inhibiting protein degradation in muscle cells. Can you imagine? I mean, and then it's saying, should say, it says somewhere above a little bit. It might not say right here as much, but it doesn't have the same negative effects like gyno hair. It doesn't affect your hormones, but it somehow is promoting protein synthesis into the muscle cells. Now tell me how that works, right? Tell me how that works. I don't understand how that's possible. You read this study, it doesn't make sense anyways. It's like, what's going on? But that's a wrap, okay? Those are the compounds I wanted to talk about. I'm putting this stuff in the description, wherever. Now, since I just like sped through that, I turned what was 45 minutes into 20. 23. We're gonna say 20, and then the rest of this is gonna be me jabbering. So if you want to click off, I just want to talk about steel a little bit and some of these compounds. But those are the compounds in this stack, and just some of the science behind how they work. The DHT, if you're curious about epiandosterone, which is the main thing that's going to be causing changes in your body with this pro-hormone, look up DHT effects on the body, DHT effects on bodybuilding, DHT effects on there's a weird noise going on downstairs. I'm very confused. Anyways, I think someone might be in my fucking house. That's not scary. But anyways, DHT, right? Am I saying that right? DHT. That is the compound you're going to want to do your research on. And we talked about it. It causes a little bit of hair loss and elevated levels in the bloodstream. You can run into hepatic issues. Hepatic? I believe that is your liver, if I remember my vocabulary. Liver issues, a little bit of cardiovascular, blood work issues, right? But what I would like to see is what those guys' levels looked like a month after stopping. I'm sure there was no difference. I'm sure they were fine. And it honestly depends on how you interpret some of the numbers and the blood work and the LDL. Those studies are a little bit older, so they might be a little biased to the old bad LDL. But in the end, I want to talk about what I feel as compared to what I've just read. So this is me reading this for the first time, doing the research, okay? I am commonly cramping and dehydrated. I think I mentioned that a little bit earlier in this video, but like if I make a fist right now, like that is a cramp. Oh my god. It's brutal. Like if I right bicep cramp, I'm always dehydrated and I'm cramping like an absolute mofo, okay? But the benefit, right? The benefit, well, I don't know if it's even a benefit, but I'm always sore too, like significantly sore. Like I hit chest today. Oh my God, look how red I am. I hit chest today, it's already getting sore. I hit back yesterday and I'm sore in places I didn't even know could be sore. Now this is a good thing or a bad thing, or it's both. My recovery doesn't feel like it's amped up. If anything, I just feel like I'm tearing more muscle, which again, good stuff. But it doesn't seem to affect the recovery like I might have thought. Like I haven't been unsore for 2 weeks straight. So there's that. I'm dehydrated, cramping, and I'm sore as shit. And then when it comes to no acne, by the way, like no acne. I've always been kind of clear skinned, and my hair, I mean, it's always been pretty thin. It's not going to be there for much longer. I have a feeling it's going to fall out because my parents and grandparents, everyone's bald in my family, but balding, all the same shit. The other thing was moods. Okay, mood. Now I don't know if this is because of other things or specifically because of steel, but I could rip someone's throat out like at least twice a day. At least twice a day. And it could very well be this stack doing this to me, but it's a weird feeling, okay? It's like I'm irrationally upset about things for a few hours, and then I'm like, why am I upset? Life is good, you know? Like, that's not a big deal. But in the moment, like, if someone hits me, and this is, it's not like I haven't, like, I've always been kind of like a kid, you know, growing up, throwing corn cobs at my buddies that pissed me off. Jackson, if you're watching this, that's you. But kind of always had a temper, right? I mean, I'm older now and I don't really have that problem, but it's in the soul. You know, if you know, it's in there, and you just, sometimes you're like, so that's been coming out a little bit more. I've been a lot more rude. So I think I am being affected by the mood a bit. But either way, that is just my anecdotal evidence to add to the fire, okay? If there is anything else that you guys want to hear, I tried to run through this super quick, just so that if you have questions on stuff that I skipped, you can comment below, and we can get that figured out. All right. Let me take a breath. I want to thank you guys for being here. Please like the video, subscribe, and most of all, comment below on questions. Like, the reason I got this video out and I've been grinding it out for like 24 hours is somebody commented like, oh, I'm excited for Monday, because I'd mentioned I'd make this video on Monday. Well, it's Tuesday night. I already dropped the ball, but I think his name was Zura. Thank you for motivating me to get this done. When I see someone comment and they're excited for content, you bet your ass I'm going to do my best to get it out. So thank you guys for watching. Like, sub, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hey everyone, thanks for swinging by the channel today. If you enjoyed the video or the videos on the channel, drop a like, subscribe, and turn that bell on if you want to be notified for more videos. But again, thanks for coming by, and I'll see you guys in the next one.